Okay, for this second online lesson, what I thought we'd do is take one of the concepts from the first one and just broaden it out a little bit. Okay, so if you remember in the first online lesson, we looked at chokazuki, or straight punch, and we looked at some of the applications associated with that. One of the biggest things with that straight punch is obviously this hand, this pulling hand that's coming back, Hikite. So I thought we'd spend a full lesson just looking at that, Hikite, broadening out some of the concepts and trying to get an understanding why this is so important in karate. So in the traditional kata in karate, Hikite is found throughout. It's usually the non-striking limb, so it's this hand that's coming back here, it could be here, it could be here, and any sort of arm that's moving back away from the intended strike or lock or throw or whatever is usually referred to as Hikite. The reason that we use Hikite is all based around the range at which karate was designed for in close range fighting applications. I'll just give you a quick example of this. It's all to do with reaction time as well. If I was a long way from John, my reaction, his reaction visually will be fairly good. So if I ask John to sort of hold his hands out here, if I try to touch John on the chest, he should be able to react fairly easy with that because he can see it. He's got a visual reaction of it, and the reaction time is much quicker than what I can strike. As soon as I stand closer to him like this and do exactly the same thing again, it becomes almost impossible for him to be able to block that strike. Okay, it's all to do with the fact that he can't react visually in time. Okay, so usually in close range situations, a subconscious reaction as soon as things start to kick off is that people will start to raise their arms up. Okay, and inevitably you're going to get an arm clash. So Hikite is used at this point. It's more based around tactile awareness, touch awareness than anything else. Okay, and one of the big criticisms in karate is people say, well, look at these punches and they say, nobody's going to punch like that for real. And that's true. Okay, it would be silly to do that because here I've got a dead hand. I've got a hand that's doing nothing. All right, but if there's something in that hand, then it becomes live. It becomes useful. And that's the reason why we do this double action, because we're getting used to not only punching out or striking out or thrusting out, but also using this hand positively, in a positive way, in a close range environment. So we're making the best of our bodies in that range. Another reason we use Hikite in karate is to increase the effect of our strikes. We covered this in the last online lesson as well. I'll just quickly recap it. If you've got a strike or any technique going outwards at 50 miles per hour, say, you're going to get a 50 mile an hour crash on the opponent. If I had Hikite pulling in the opposite direction at 50 miles an hour, I'm doubling it. I'm doubling the effect. I'm getting a 100 mile an hour crash. Okay, and that can be used throughout the art. So say for instance, maybe punches come in or something like this and I've got hold of a limb. If I just strike now, this is my 50 mile an hour crash, all right? So I should be using this limb as well to help me out. So as I pull this in, I'm bringing the body in, I'm increasing the net effect of that strike, okay? I'm using many other ways as well. So say we've got a knee strike, for instance. If the body's upright from here and I throw this knee in, there's my 50 mile an hour crash. Okay, I'm only getting half my effect. As soon as I start to pull the body in as well, here, there's my 100 mile an hour crash. Okay, so by pulling the body in, I increase the effect of the strike. It can also be used with locking techniques as well. So in this position and his arms are up, if he pushes in and I get this arm, okay, if I'm going to attack on the outside of the arm there, if I just use this hand here and leave this one dead, just bang this in, it takes a bit of power to get him to move. As soon as I use this one as well and just pull it in ever so slightly, I get a much different response. Okay, so just showing that again. If the arms are up and he pulls in from here, instead of leaving this arm where it is, use it. You know what I mean? It's there anyway. So I pull this in and I strike out. Okay, and that puts me in for other options after that. All right. So there's just another really useful reason to why we use Hikite, and that's to increase the effect of our strikes.